Oh, yeah. No, it'll look.
Okay, we're streaming live now.
I guess I have to call the meeting to order, correct?
Yep, ready whenever you are.
I'm ready to call this meeting to order, September 29th, 2021, and then I believe you'll take roll call for us?
Yep, Mr. Whaley,
Here.
Commissioner Meinzer,
Here.
Mr. Griffiths,
Here.
Mr. Schultz,
Here.
Mr. Truca.
Here.
I guess Mr. Nagel is not here, I should probably say for the record. Okay.
You guys might have to, once again, it's second meeting, so, you review the minutes for us? Is that how it works?
I do the minutes, yeah,
Yep.
and then we just need a motion, and then.
Yeah, I make a motion to accept the minutes from last
Second.
meeting.
Okay,
There we go.
and then we don't normally do roll call, I think we normally just say, all in favor, say aye.
Second.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we can move through this pretty quick today. Thanks, everybody, for taking the time to come to a off the date meeting, I guess we would call it.
Do we need to vote for the minutes? Mr. Chairman, I think technically we need a voice vote for the minutes.
Oh, I was telling him that normally we'd say like, all in favor, say
Oh,
aye.
okay, all right.
And then you usually, do you say opposed and wait for a silence before we move on?
Anybody opposed?
Motion approved.
Motion approved.
Kind of hard to hear what the
I
mask.
can't. Yes.
I can't hear
I
it.
forgot that we had that mask today too, so I'm like walking in and trying to look out there.
Well, and technically they were saying like, if you're not speaking, you can take it off, so
Oh, okay.
if you want to do that, you can.
We need to, if we've been vaccinated, has everyone been vaccinated? Is that, I mean.
You still want us to wear them, I think.
They're saying,
Still
yeah,
want us to wear
Not
it.
a problem.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, we can get into the first application now, correct? Yes. All right, so this is for 165 Jackson Street. And that building is in the historical district downtown. The project is exterior signage. Did everybody get a chance to review the comments from the staff?
Yes.
Anybody have any questions on the application? I think Brady has somebody back there. I see a Brady shirt. If anybody has any questions for the Brady folks. Looks like the staff questions. I can go ahead and ask that.
Through the chair, I think Alec has a couple.
If you'd like me to present, I can
slides
run
to
through.
You want to go ahead and present it?
Yeah.
Great.
It's pretty cut and sweet.
And also, oh, one thing, I did talk to legal. We don't have to say through the chair.
Oh,
Say
okay.
my name.
All right,
We're gonna try to make it a little bit easier and slow it down a little bit.
sure.
So you can be a little less official there.
Sure, okay. So the applicant submitted an application for a certificate of appropriateness for internally illuminated channel letters affixed to the east-facing facade of 165 Jackson Street. So like you said, this building is in the downtown Sandusky Commercial Historic District, but is a non-contributing building. And the existing signage on the building group is also internally illuminated, similar to what's being proposed here for the new signage. And so the existing sign was installed before the creation of the existing landmark commission, hence its allowance. The proposed existing internally illuminated sign is going to be 40-inch by 208.25 inches channel lettering sign with white LED module lights designed 5 feet deep with acrylic channel letters. And so the couple of questions staff had was if the colored part of the logo will be illuminated or just the white channel lettering, and then if the light, the brightness of the light, excuse me, is adjustable.
The coloring will illuminate as well.
Okay.
And the LED lighting is not adjustable.
Okay.
And it's laid out inside the letters, there's not a different.
Is the existing signage with the Ashley Group, is the coloring in that illuminated? The blue?
Yes, it is.
It is, okay.
I guess before you speak to it, we'd probably have you come up to the podium so we can hear you in the microphone for the record.
Oh, then it'll be on the,
And just state your name, so, sorry.
Thanks, Kristen.
If you can repeat
No, you gotta
that.
keep us in track, Kristen, you know.
Nathan Glass and with Brady Signs. And the repeated answer is yes, the colors will light, and the LED illumination is not dimmable, so it's going to be consistent.
And it's that the current sign is the same.
Current sign's the same way, yes.
Same way.
Thank you.
Okay, so staff does recognize the Sandusky Preservation Design Guidelines state that internally illuminated signs are deemed inappropriate for the downtown area. However, due to the fact that the building is a non-contributing structure of historical significance, and it's also going to replace existing LED signage, staff recommends the granting of certificate of appropriateness if brightness does not exceed the brightness deemed appropriate by the Landmark Commission, and that, up to you guys on what that would be. And then if all permits are obtained through the Building Engineering Planning Department prior to construction.
We did talk internally as well that I know this group has spoken specifically about illuminated signage and wanting to make that a little easier. The design guidelines in the signage guidance in the design guidelines is trying to keep us away from like Vegas flashing lights, like big stuff. And this is a modest sign, it's a modern sign. And I know that those conversations have happened internally on this group in the past, so I want to mention that too.
I guess one more question then for Mr. I'm sorry to have to get back up. One more question then, just so the group understands. Would that sign, the current sign is probably not an LED, I'm assuming?
It is LED.
That is LED?
Yes, yeah.
So we're not looking at, maybe you did, we're not looking at a brighter sign, we're looking about the same?
Correct. Yeah, actually, with the new sign, even though the letters probably are a little bit taller, the stroke of the letter itself, I feel, is narrower. I don't have the specifics on the old versus the new, but I would say that it's going to light consistent with what's there now, if not maybe a little less total brightness overall.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Thank you.
Any other questions, discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I going through the supporting documents, even though it's an existing sign, I think it would be an opportunity in most buildings downtown to bring back the historical aspect of downtown or what the character we're trying to receive. But this building was never built or designed to be to have the character the rest of the old buildings downtown do. And I just don't want to set a precedence for those old buildings. And if it's not brighter, I don't think we've ever got any complaints about this sign. Your business models, or their business model is one digital, so they can't go with nostalgic lights without the outside lighting, because that's not going to be something, a good marketing point. But as long as it's subtle and it doesn't draw away from the other character of the downtown, and the bistro just put a sign up with Brady, and in that area, if it's not distracting and pulling away like a neon light type thing, I'd vote for it. But I just want to be on the record as saying, if somebody comes back and complains this is too gaudy, that I'd like to have the opportunity to revisit it. But I'm going to vote for it the way it is. So
That's a good point. I think that you're correct. That's a newer design building. That building is very much after a lot of the historical preservation that we're going for in this group. So I think I agree with Mike that sign we're really not changing much. I think it's okay, but I'm glad you brought that up because that's a good point in case someone came back and wanted to discuss that. So with that, are there any other thoughts?
Just one for staff. I haven't seen it, or I haven't done the math, but I'm assuming the sign is in compliance with the size requirements for signs on.
So yeah, that'll be the next step of the process, is I'll look over and approve their application for the signage permit aspect, but this is the first step.
Understood. Thanks.
So with that, could I get a motion to?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the certificate of appropriateness subject to conditions laid down by staff and the further, obviously, approvals obtained through the further processes through the city.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those in opposition, same sign. All right, that passes.
I think we have to do a roll call.
Oh, we have to do a roll call?
For the application.
Oh, it's just the minutes, the casual stuff. you can do.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay,
Well, that's fine.
well, that's you.
Mr. Whaley,
Aye.
Commissioner Meinzer,
Yes.
Mr. Griffiths,
Yes.
Mr. Schultz,
Yes.
and Mr. Truca.
Yes.
That passes.
Thank you.
I'm gonna run away, feel free.
Thanks,
Thank you.
guys. All right, so the next one, we are revisiting 319 Lawrence Street. Thanks for coming back, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for the hard work.
Sure.
Staff, did you want to?
Yeah, we have received some
Go
new
ahead.
information
Yep.
since the reports came out, so we'll make sure that we get that in front of you.
So yeah, they did resubmit a new application, so I'd like to at least clarify on what the new nuances is of this one. So nothing's changed, but I'll still run through it. The property at 319 Lawrence is on the National Register. It's an Erie County historic structure as well. So because of that, it's required to seek a certificate of appropriateness from the Landmark Commission. So this is a revised application from their first one that was granted permission to remove the existing roof and get it to the dry and gather more quotes. So the applicant's back. The applicant wishes to replace the existing metal roof with a ribbed metal roof, including gutters and downspouts. The ribbed metal roofing product uses features, standing ribs, and may feature additional smaller secondary ribs between them to add additional strength. The color will be chosen from the available manufacturing options, which I will show you in a second. On the right there. To most closely match the existing color. At the time of the report, the manufacturer they're going with has changed, so the updated color scheme is on the TV. So to determine whether to issue a certificate of appropriateness, planning staff must consider the Secretary of Interior standards for rehabilitation and the Sandusky preservation guidelines. So the Sandusky preservation guidelines do not have anything regarding the replacement of metal roof. But as far as the interior standards, the worst severe interior deterioration requires repair and limited replacement of a distinctive feature. The new material will match the old composition design color texture. Staff feels that this has been met based on what we have in front of us. The applicant has stated via email the roof leaks are causing interior damage, which is a repeat from the last application. So staff notes that the new material matches closely to the existing roofing material. So the color scheme may not be a perfect match, which is something we'd like to work out here tonight on what to go forward with. But based on what we have, staff recommends granting a certificate of appropriateness for the metal roof replacement with the following conditions. The applicant uses a similar color to the existing roof, and then that all permits are obtained through the building, engineering, and planning department prior to construction.
So the materials that were in your packet were from a different provider, and they've found their preferred provider for the family and the budget. It's consistent with the product that's in your packet. It's just that they had a different color style. So it's going to really closely mimic the condition of the standing seam metal roof. It's just created with the ribs, so it's a cheaper system, but it's a high-quality roofing system. We don't have any concerns there. It's just that we said in your packet, the patina green, that was a different provider. This one doesn't have that specific color. And I would caution, one of the conversations we had internally was like, well, do we have Landmarks Commission discuss and choose a color and suggest a color? But the biggest hang up I have about that, because I've done a lot of graphic design, printing, things always show up in person a lot differently than you would expect to see them on a screen. They can differ highly depending on the screen you're looking at. So we might leave it up to the applicant and their provider to choose the closest possible color that they have in stock to the home. Or we could ask them to call somebody and go down there, call Ryan and say, hey, come down here and look at it. And I'm not sure how you want to handle that, but that was kind of what we talked about inside in-house. Because the light stone looks close, the Alamo white looks close, the taupe looks close. It's just hard to say what would be the most appropriate for that. And I would be interested to see what you all think about that too.
Those are some good points. Thank you, Aaron.
May I speak?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
And thank you for following up and giving me this hearing.
Sure, and restate your name for the record, please.
Bob Zimmerman.
Thank you.
I'm Sharon's brother. Things happened pretty rapidly over the last couple of days, and I've been trying to pull this information together. It could be possible that these might be the colors we saw there might be their standard colors available. I'm not saying that there isn't something else available that might be closer to what I think that, in the conclusions from the last meeting, that's where this patina green originally came up, and it does closely match what's there now. We don't know what this house looked like 40 years ago when it was registered either. It might have been some other color, and that's, patina by definition is, change over time or something. Maybe this supplier can get that color or something closer to it. I don't know yet. But we know that we want to get close to that, at least that, and ultimately, we'd like to leave it up to the homeowner. This is her house, this is where she lives. She decorated the house, beautifully inside, so she's not gonna put a red roof on it or something like that. It's gonna be something that's agreeable and very close to what's there. As you can see, there was the dark green was up there. I think at one time, the roof actually was that. They had it painted like a darker green, and I think it's kind of changed to that. So anyway, that's kind of where we're headed. I don't want to close the door on that being available. Maybe it is. Today, it's not in their color chart.
God, that's helpful.
Did you get my, I guess, get the point of that it might
Yeah.
be possible, something closer, but we just want it to be, kind of her decision at this point.
I think that's reasonable.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and I think, if we could, just, kind of agree, if your guys' opinions, of course, is that, we're gonna keep it as close as possible. And then from there,
Right.
I think it should be their option. Obviously, they've just said that we're not gonna put a neon yellow roof with
No.
red lines across it or anything like that.
Also probably the smoke.
Any other
and not the crinkle.
Thoughts?
Remember that?
Yeah, Ryan, I guess from my perspective, I'm not sure that, and I don't know if staff knows whether the historic guidelines refer specifically to roof color. I know they refer extensively to material and type. Roof colors change over the years, all sorts of different ways. So personally, I'm totally ambivalent about the roof color. If the homeowner wants to put a different roof color on there, using appropriate materials, that is not, as long as it's not hot pink. And I would be comfortable with them putting a roof of any of these colors, quite frankly, on that building. Do the guidelines speak specifically to maintaining?
They do.
color.
Sorry if it wasn't communicated
Okay.
very well, but I can reread it. It says, where the severity of deterioration requires repair or limited replacement of a distinctive feature, the new material will match the old composition, design, color, and texture.
Oh, okay, all right. That solves that.
Excuse me, but we would have to get back to the original application, I think, from 1959, or even photographs or something, to see what that color was back when it was registered,
Well,
wouldn't we?
Yeah, no, and I think.
Mr. Chairman, yeah, I would say match is like a relative term, everybody's gonna look at it, but
Yeah,
if it's in the spectrum,
I think-
nobody here is gonna be
Yeah, we
concerned.
just kind of want it to be close to what you have, and like you said,
Greenish.
patina's patina, like you can't recreate that. Well, I do.
following his train of thought, you would have to go back to that original application.
That's true.
Where they expressly highlighted that it was a raised rib metal roof, but no mention of color
Correct.
at that point.
Mr. Chairman, in the guidelines, they talk about, there's a lot of slate roofs. And I remember reading the preservation guidelines that just says if it's a slate roof, you should match it with an asphalt shingle that's relatively close to the color of the slate roof, so.
But slate-
They're not looking for,
Slate is a color, a slate is
Yeah.
a charcoal or something, it's not red or green or something,
I think you'd be fine.
right?
Yeah. No, right, well, no, it's gray, yeah. To me.
The nut.
Any other discussion? So could I get a motion to approve this within relative color, close to what we have now?
Sure,
Yeah,
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we accept the certificate of appropriateness as recommended by staff on the understanding that the homeowner is going to pick a similar color to the current color of the roof.
Second.
So,
Yes.
So a roll
Thank
call
you.
then?
Mr. Whaley,
Yes.
Commissioner Meinzer,
Yes.
Mr. Griffiths,
yes.
Mr. Schultz,
Yes.
and Mr. Truca.
Yes.
This passes. Thank you, guys.
Thank
For
you.
doing the
Thank you.
extra legwork. I know that was a bit of a pain to come to more than one meeting, but I think at the end of the day, you did great, and that's I'm excited that that's going to get done for you.
Yeah, it's,
That's
Get
fantastic.
started on it pretty soon, hopefully.
Good. It's time. I think we're on borrowed time with this nice weather right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, for now. Okay.
In the interest of time, since this is a special meeting, unless anybody else has any other business, do you guys have any other business, staff? Anybody on this group? I thought we would just move forward with adjournment and enjoy our nice day.
Move that we adjourn.
Motion,
I move that we adjourn. Second.
we're adjourned.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming back.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations, guys, well done.
Glad we could work it out.
Hey, Kristen,
Yeah, we'll send you your.
you want to turn the recording on?
Writing, but you can call everybody and get your room going.
It's hard, yeah, I was, at the beginning, I was missing.
That was easy.